but I'm enjoying myself. This is quite the crowd. Are you enjoying yourselves? Yeah. Would you do something would you all stand up, please? Man, I love having an audience. It's so fun. Okay, so let's exercise a bit. It's the morning. So do this with your right hand. And then with your left hand. And you sway back and forth a bit. And then you all hug each other like this. All right? Come on, do it. Yeah, there'll be no virus, I promise. All right, let's try another one. Hands up again. And hands down like this. And like this. And fuck the banks! All right, I'm just going to continue where Nico left off, because my talk is on the same lines as same talking points as his, but I'm going to try to go even deeper than that if I can. You know, my Bitcoin career started in 2019, sort of. I went to Riga with a hand luggage full of books. So I brought 50 books there. I sold 25 and gave 25 out to all my idols. And after that, that book sort of took off, and now I'm here doing international stuff with Bitcoin. And I noticed a pattern on the way here, like from 2019 to here. And that is the enormous amount of help I received from other Bitcoiners. Because they, within weeks after the book was published, it was translated first to German, and then to a bunch of other languages. And then I got Guy Swan to read it as an audiobook and publish it, because I couldn't publish an audiobook from Europe, because for some odd reason, KDP and Amazon's audiobook publishing, when you self-publish, it doesn't work from Europe. It only works from the US and Australia for some odd reason. But I got help with that. I got help with, you know, from the animator Joni Appelberg, who made beautiful little videos of some of the chapters of the books and some of the articles I wrote and so on. I got some art from I noticed, this is actually a funny story. I noticed, have you seen Fractal Encrypt's, the full node statue, you know, the one with the circles? The most famous piece of Bitcoin art there is, I believe. It's behind Michael Saylor in some of his interviews. On one of the rings there, it said sovereignty through mathematics. So I was like, that's the title of my book. So I DM'd Fractal. I didn't know him at the time. And I asked him, or I told him, isn't this a funny coincidence? You put the same words on your statue as the title of my book? And he's like, oh, dude, I was listening to it while I made the statue. And I get goosebumps still talking about this thing, because I think that thing is awesome. And later on, we sort of he made an artwork out of this equation, and we came up with this holiday Bitcoin Infinity Day last year, and that became a thing. And it's like all these memes pop into reality, and all the Bitcoiners are so friendly to me. I couldn't believe like how much, you know, heartwarming friendliness there is everywhere. So I started thinking about, why is that? Why are Bitcoiners much better at being friendly to one another than normies? I mean, normies are, well, most normies are friendly. Some are assholes. Like, Bitcoiners are never assholes, and they're even friendlier than the friendly normies. So I came to, first of all, Bitcoiners adopt a lower time preference. I think most of you in this room is familiar with the term low time preference. But I'll explain it anyway. A high time preference is when you don't think too far ahead into the future. Like, if you're robbed of everything you own, all your assets, everything you own, your priorities become to find food and shelter for the day so you survive. So it's a fearful state of being. A high time preference, you're fearful, and you're more likely to screw people over just in order to survive. So the higher your time preference, the more likely you are to be immoral, basically, because you're fearful. And on the other side of that spectrum is a low time preference, which to me is the same thing as the ability to love. Because the more you have, and the more you know that people can't take what you've got, and you have it like for a long time into the future, you can rely on it, the more loving to other human beings you can afford to be. Are you following me on this? So this is one aspect of why Bitcoiners are friendly, because Bitcoiners know that they're financially secured, or after you've been in Bitcoin a while you do, because of number go up technology and all of this. But you know at least that people can't take your Bitcoin. But the other thing is that Bitcoiners want Bitcoin to succeed, of course. We want number go up. So by proxy, we want other Bitcoiners to succeed as well. So we're incentivized to help one another succeed in whatever endeavors we pick. And the funny thing, as I see it, this doesn't go away post-hyper-Bitcoinization. It doesn't go away on a global Bitcoin standard. We're still going to be incentivized to just be friendly to one another. And if you go even deeper, do you know about an economic phenomenon called Gresham's law? It's like in countries with shitty currency, people want to spend their crappy currency before they spend their good currency. So if you're in Venezuela, it's like Venezuelans try to get rid of their bolivars before they try to get rid of their dollars. They hoard their dollars and they try to get rid of their bolivars. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin and dollars. Like you'd rather keep your Bitcoin and get rid of your dollars or euros. But I realize that might go even deeper than that, because our reputation, since Bitcoins are absolutely scarce forever, and you know that you have them forever, everything in life is a shitcoin compared to your Bitcoin stack. So like your reputational capital and you being friendly to other people, it's cheaper for you to spend that than to spend your actual Bitcoin stack. So this is the weirdest part, because the more we get into Bitcoin as a society, the less we need money at all. It incentivizes us to just give each other stuff in terms of our time and effort. And so the necessity for monetary transactions goes down and not up in a Bitcoin-denominated world. And Jeff Booth over there often talks about Bitcoin as being a bridge to the other side, from the old system to the new. And I always, a bridge to what exactly? To what is on that other side of that bridge? And I think like Bitcoin is so different from the system we live in now, since it's deflationary. It's, well, you say it's not really deflationary at the moment, but it has a declining inflation over time. And at one point, 2140, when our grandchildren are alive, or our great-grandchildren, then it will be deflationary. So you might as well see it as a deflationary thing already, since you know that there's an absolute limit. And this is a first for humanity. So it's not digital gold. There's always the possibility of finding new gold if the price of gold goes up. And it's not money, because we never had anything like Bitcoin before. It's not a currency, because currencies are shitcoins. They inflate. And it's not a digital asset, because that word is pretty stupid. And it's none of those things. It's like, well, it is a protocol, an internet protocol. It is a network, a communications tool. But more than that, it's the overarching idea of something we have that is divisible into the smallest parts, but it can't be copied. So it solved the double spending problem, which was a problem that couldn't be double solved. It could only be solved once, because double solving it would like defeat its own purpose. If you can double solve it, it's not solved. So the thing that Bitcoin is doing, it's just a mathematical experiment. It's just mathematics that we can run in the back of our heads and on our computers, which is just an extension of the back of our heads, really. But it's just this mathematical thing running in the back of our heads that changes the way we interact with one another and the way we interact with ourselves. So it's not only how we interact, you and me, but it's how I interact with myself. Because I come to more and more philosophical conclusions about wealth and about what is it that money actually does. What's the end goal? Money itself is not the end goal. It's a means to a greater end. We want what money can buy us. And at the end of that, if you take that argument as far as you can, it's always that you want to free up time for yourself. You want to be able to do whatever you want more often. That's what we want money for. So every tool and every technology we ever invented as a species was invented to save someone time. I mean, if you try to screw in a screw by hand, it takes a lot of time and you hurt yourself. If you have a screwdriver, it goes faster. If you have an electrical screwdriver, it goes even faster. If you have robotics and you can build a Tesla factory in days, it goes very, very fast. But it's all just time saving. And as long as prices go up, you can be absolutely sure that the value of that time saving is going to some crook that took it from everyone else. Because in a free market with sound money, all of the prices will go down over time because we get better at saving time. Are you following me here? Yeah. I'm almost not following me myself, so. But this is like, I cannot stop thinking about this, and the rabbit hole is absolutely endless and bottomless. Because when you realize every Bitcoiner gets the question, what is Bitcoin? And I thought about, like, what's my answer to that? And the best way I can describe it in as few words as possible is that it's an agreement between people on a fixed set of rules. And that's all it is. It's an agreement between people on a fixed set of rules. So it's like chess. If you know the rules of chess, you can play chess with every other chess player in the world. If you play by some other rules, if you play chess cash, for instance, have you heard of chess cash? It's when you have a 64 times 64 squared board with fewer amounts of pieces on it. That's chess cash. Or you can play chess theorem, which is like very complicated chess, which no one really understands, and it can spawn other games that are boring and people don't want to play in the long run. And like the rules of chess, even if there's a big international chess committee or whatever that tries to change the rules, most chess players won't buy that. They'll play by the consensual rules that everyone else plays by. So if you're running a chess website and you choose to change the rules, people would just move to another chess site with the proper rules. And this is what Bitcoin is. It's this agreement on a fixed set of rules. So if we all can play by those rules, we can all benefit from the game. And the game is just, voluntary interaction. That's what it is. You and me doing something voluntarily, that's a trade. You give me something, I give you something. We both agree that that was a good thing to do, unless the trade wouldn't have happened at all. But on a grand scale, and no third party can stop that, and they can't take parts of it away. They can't inflate it, they can't leech on that transaction. So when you cannot know how much another person owns, and you cannot take it by force, because even if I threaten you, and I say, give you all my Bitcoin, and you give me parts of your Bitcoin, I don't know how many Bitcoins you have. So at all times, it's better for me, as the aggressor, to interact voluntarily with you and provide something of value back. Because that's just more profitable, probably more profitable than being violent. So it removes violence on every layer of society. So I think this is, Bitcoin, the overarching idea is so much bigger than we think it is. So, yeah. How am I on time, Plummet? I think this is a good note to stop on, so thank you very much. Can you